your favorite cozy polishes. That's this week's Topic Tuesday. This is Lacquerography. Thank you so much for joining me today. We're going to take a look at my current top 6 choices for cozy polishes that I have in my collection. How I chose these polishes was, first of all, they had to be tried and worn. The other thing is they had to have given me some sort of a special cozy vibe, something that gives me a sense of comfort, of warmth, and of relaxation. And not necessarily at this sort of fall to winter time of year, but really at any time of year when I'm looking for just something that brings me that feeling of wellness and happiness and relaxation and calm. Of these 6 polishes, you can already see that there's a slight color range going on here. There's also a range of brand, mainstream, indie, and also of some different types of finishes that gave a cozy vibe. Let's start by taking a look at the first polish over here. For my first polish up, this one is by Essie, and this one is called Without a Stitch, and it's number 1007. Now this polish is from Essie's Wild Nudes collection from back in 2017, and the description that goes along with this one is that it is a clean, light gray. When I wore this polish, I didn't record how many coats I wore it in, but knowing me, I would have worn it likely 2, possibly 3. Now there was kind of an interesting thing with this polish. This one is one of my older Essies, and it does have that good old, very thin, long brush. So application was a little bit tricky because of the thin nature of this brush, but the formula itself for this polish was absolutely excellent. So in that sense, the application was actually as easy as it could be, considering the thin brush. Right over here, this is Essie's Without a Stitch on my swatch wheel. And here is Without a Stitch against my skin tone. It really does have a beautiful neutral look to it. It's a light gray, but there's also a lot of warmth to it. There is almost the slightest hint of, for my eyes anyway, almost like a taupe look, just ever so slightly, that brings a little bit more warmth to this gray. I really do enjoy wearing this polish. I look forward to wearing it many, many more times in the future, even despite that thin brush that I have in this bottle right here. And it is a polish that I'll be looking out for some good Essie sales. We're struggling here in Canada, so if there's any Canadians that want to leave a great Essie source in the chat, it'd be much appreciated. Right now, our drugstore prices for Essies are really horrendous. I mean, regular price for Essies can be $14.99, which is difficult considering that high price point. This is a great polish. I look forward to hopefully purchasing a backup bottle at some point in the very near future, where when I use this bottle up, I'll be able to have one with a thicker, more current brush. So this first pick is by Essie, Without a Stitch, number 1007. Now my second polish up is actually a pretty interesting choice. This one is by Polished for Days, and this one is Soft Focus Briar Rose. And what this polish is it's actually a visible nail line blurring base coat. VNL stands for visible nail line. So it's a visible nail line blurring base coat, this one. I couldn't help when I put this on my nails for the very first time, not just using this one as a base coat, but just wearing this one on its own. And I was incredibly pleased with the results. The description that goes along with this one is that it is a pink undertone version of our Soft Focus base coat. This can be built up to be opaque and a beautiful base for toppers, or use one coat under any polish to blur your nail line. Now when I wore this one, again, unfortunately, I didn't record how many coats I wore this one, but again, knowing me, it was most likely 2, possibly 3, but it was most likely 2 when I wore this one. That's typically my norm for when I polish my nails, 2 coats, unless it's like surprisingly sheer or patchy. And this one, I can recall having the most sensational formula. Now, there is actually a range of these polishes. There's several now. Some of them are very much neutral, similar to this, but with different undertones to them. There's also some that have a little bit more color. There's one that's sort of more of a lavender hue as well within the Soft Focus line by Polish for Days. This one right here is Polish for Days Soft Focus Briar Rose on my swatch wheel. And here it is against my skin tone. It really very much is like a My Nails, but much, much better kind of color. It doesn't quite give me that full mannequin hands look, but it does blend quite a bit with my skin tone. But the formula of this polish was outstanding. I still have never used it as a base for other sheer polishes. I've just really been enjoying wearing this one, quite frankly, on its own. I think the formula is stellar. I think that the color of this one seems to suit my skin tone. This polish really is outstanding, whether you choose to wear it alone or as a base underneath other sheer polishes or underneath toppers. I think this polish is beautiful and quite a standout. So the second cozy pick was by Polish for Days, Soft Focus Briar Rose. My third cozy polish pick is by LynB Designs, and this one is called Cashmere. It's from their Drawer of Sweaters collection. And the Drawer Full of Sweaters collection came out in December 2020. This one has such an interesting shimmer. It's got a very warm shimmer against this base. It's described as a muted creme. It's a little bit hard to say. It's described as a muted cream creme with intense copper shimmer. This one, when I wore it in 3 thin coats with a glossy top coat. And the only reason why I wore it in 3 thin coats was because I just wore it recently. I actually marked up one of my nails because I was just getting back to my business far too soon after I had done my manicure. And that was completely on me. I was just being impatient and I should have known better. So that's the only reason why I needed the 3rd coat. I actually wore this polish for an incredible number of days. I believe that I finally took this polish off on the 5th night of me wearing this polish. That's a long time for me. I do quite a bit of work with my hands. I'm a teacher. I'm using my hands all day long. I am the dishwasher as well. I don't own a dishwasher, so I'm washing dishes constantly. So yeah, I'm very hard on my nails and my nail polish throughout a week. So the fact that I wore this one for 5 days was really quite astounding. I still didn't want to take it off. And in fact, I'm wondering when I can next get this neutral back on my nails because I loved it so much. This one right here, this creamy looking one, is LynB Designs Cashmere on my swatch wheel. And here it is against my skin tone. So it really does have a beautiful creamy look to it. The shimmer, it's interesting that it's not showing up as much here, although it shows up everywhere, especially in the sunlight actually. That shimmer almost creates like a glass-like look to this polish. It almost gave it like a beach glass effect, even though the color itself doesn't really show beach glass, but it had that warmth with that really unusual kind of a muted shimmer, but it was undoubtedly there. And it really was, to my best description, glass-like on the nails. So everything about this one, the quality, the color, the longevity of this polish, the coziness, I love this one. And this one is absolutely a new favorite. I just wore it for the first time very recently and I can't wait to get this one on again. So this one, my 3rd pick, was by LynB Designs Cashmere. This 4th one of my cozy picks is by OPI and it's You Don't Know Jacques. This one's from OPI's France collection from the fall, from back in 2008. It was their fall collection. And this one's described as a taupe brown creme. Now, this is the one that I'm wearing on my nails right now, and I'm wearing it in 3 coats with a glossy top coat. And I've actually had it on my nails now for quite a few days. I put this one on about 3 days ago, and it's still holding up pretty well. I have a tiny bit of chipping here, but as I said, I do wash my own dishes. I don't have a dishwasher, and lots of housework and schoolwork and things like that. So the fact that this is a darker polish, it's still looking pretty good after 3 days of pretty heavy wear. I really can't believe that I've only just now worn this polish for the very first time. Now that I have it on my nails, I'm absolutely in love with it. To me, it looks like the most luscious dark chocolate look. It looks like a dark chocolate hot cocoa, and it gives me all kinds of just comforting vibes. It's a great look. Now, just for consistency's sake, here is the OPI You Don't Know Jacques on my swatch wheel. And again, here it is against my skin tone. I mean, I'm wearing it there, but there you go. All of these swatches on my swatch wheel are done in only 2 coats, just for consistency's sake, so you can see what those look like. But it really is a most luscious chocolate color. I think it's beautiful. I think it is cozy and rich. And actually, I thought the ultimate for this was I had a compliment yesterday by a grade 5 that I was working with at an extracurricular club, and she just said how cool the polish looked, and I thought, you know what? I like it too. It's just, there's nothing quite like an unsolicited compliment from a grade 5 student. I thought that was great. So this one is my 4th pick. This one is by OPI. You Don't Know Jacques. My 5th polish up is more of a gray. This one is by Sassy Lacquer, and this one is called Kissy Kissy. This was part of HHC, which is Hella Handmade Creations. And I picked this one up from HHC, Hella Handmade Creations, back in December of 2022. So here is Kissy Kissy on my swatch wheel. And here it is against my skin tone. It's such a lovely mid-range gray, and that purple shimmer really is undeniable. It's not what I would consider like any sort of a really showy shimmer and really obnoxious. It does have that cozy feel. It's absolutely there. I wouldn't call it subtle necessarily, but it is cozy. It does have that cozy effect. It's not an electric type shimmer. It really is such a versatile color in this gray, and I think that shimmer really adds to that cozy vibe of it, and it adds a huge amount of interest. So this 5th cozy polish pick was by Sassy Lacquer, Kissy Kissy. Now, it's really hard to pick an ultimate favorite out of my top 6 here, but this one might just be it. This final of my top 6 cozy polishes is by Stella Chroma, and this one is called Toe Up. So this polish was part of the Winter Knits release that came out back in November 2022. I actually purchased the entire collection. I was really enamored by the entire collection. This polish is described as a creamy olive green with a strong blue-green shimmer. And when I wore this one, I wore it in 2 coats with a glossy top coat. I mean, I just find the shimmer of this is really special. And actually, it's mainly a blue-green shimmer, but every once in a while, I do see a little bit of a purpley pink kind of flash to it as well. It's not in the description, but I can remember noticing that a little bit just every once in a while on the nails as well. The predominant shift though is the green to blue. So here is that final cozy polish, Stella Chroma's Toe Up on my swatch wheel. And here it is against my skin tone. In this lighting, the shift is subtle, but it is there. The green to blue is the predominant shift. And it was when I wore it last winter as well. I just find that this olive green is so cozy and comforting. It's a really interesting take on a neutral. Some might call it a prugly. I just call it beautiful and comforting and cozy. But yeah, this olive, it just has all that warmth and just smoothness, and the formula of this one was out of this world, outstanding. So this sixth and final cozy polish pick is by Stella Chroma, Toe Up. So there you have it. Those are my top 6, my current top 6 favorite cozy polishes. I'm wondering, do you have any polishes that give you those wonderful, warm, cozy vibes? Maybe ones that you're especially drawn to in the seasons of fall, heading into winter, perhaps even heading winter into spring. Polishes that give you just that undeniable, cozy, warm, relaxed vibe. What for you constitutes a cozy polish in your collection? Add your comments to the chat. We can keep this conversation going. If you like this type of content, please consider giving this video a like. It lets me know that I'm doing a good job and that you enjoy content like these Topic Tuesdays. I do release nail-related content as often as I can, so consider subscribing. By subscribing, you won't miss out on any of the fun. Thanks again for joining me today. Wishing you all the cozy vibes, warmth, love, and good health in the season to come. Hopefully I'll see you in the next one.